in ASOG, one of the things we keep seeing is shops are throwing other shops under the bus, right? And the more that we build the TechNet membership and we actually build some unity to those who are active in it, there's much less of a chance. If you call that 1-800 number and you have to go to a TechNet shop, they're going to throw you under the bus. And I got to be real. There is a real problem with shops throwing other shops under the bus. Right. And stuff that they didn't do. Right. It was just a different process. Well, they shouldn't have charged you to test that.
Yeah. I don't like that. That's
right.
tough. It's tough to read because you just want to be like, nobody's the expert.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Are you going to say anything?
Unless you are you the expert?
I'm the one trashing the shops. What do you want me to tell you?
Well, bring it on.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
So they shouldn't have charged to test that. That's sketchy. It was just a fuse. Who were we talking to about that?
Who was it? It was yesterday.
It was just a fuse. You ever seen those news channel stories? They pull the fuse.
Jonathan White.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
And they pull the fuse out, and then they take it into the shop. And then it's always the hero shop that just looks under the hood and says, oh, it's just a fuse. There you go.
Right, yeah.
And they hand the keys back to the customer, and they didn't even charge me anything. And they go to the other shop. Shop's like, no, I need to bring it in. We need to do a diagnostic process. It's $150. We'll do a full inspection. They're like, oh, they wanted to charge me for just a fuse. All this money.
Ugh.
It's the bad shop.
Right. Well, that's the...
No,
it's kind of like the...
I want you to tell us who's the bad shop.
Well, no, I got to think about... Because I get it. It's like you're not paying me for the years, you know, or you're paying me for the years, not the 30 seconds that it took me to figure out it was a fuse. Right. That shop just had an opportunity, knew it, and they made a decision. I've made those same decisions. Yep. I've also made the decision to pull it in. So I don't...
Who's doing the disservice to the customer, though?
I don't think...
Never been there before. You haven't looked at the vehicle. They're telling you it's got a check engine light. You pull the code. And it's a mass airflow sensor. It's an Infinity. Okay. Yep. Notorious, right? For mass airflow sensor problems, the Infinity and Nissans. So, I mean, it could be a fuse, but it could also be 1,000 other things. I have no idea. Right. Let's go through our process because we have a process. The shop that just popped the hood and looked under the fuse box cover, yeah, they got lucky, but they don't have a process. Right. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm the owner. I'll just check it out. Like, you know, they don't have expenses. They're not paying good technicians, right? They have helpers. Right. And so 15 helpers running around, you know, doing whatever. And the one person that can actually look and see and figure out what it needs quickly, they didn't inspect the vehicle. Vehicle pulls out, wheel falls off. Whose fault is it?
Exactly.
Well, I just had it at the shop.
The same shop that didn't charge me for a fuse, but didn't catch the fact that, you know,
why wouldn't you have looked at that?
Right, massive oil
That's
leak.
That's typically how it goes.
Right. Oh, well.
Right.
That's typically how it goes.
Absolutely.
The news story though doesn't say any of that.
No, I'm with you 100%. No, and that's what that is my gut. My gut is not the one. Like, sure, I'm sure that made that one customer feel good, but that shop got lucky. Period.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is just like he said, the news story doesn't tell the whole story, right? They don't show that client expectation of, hey, I expect you to hold some liability for this. I expect you to stand behind it if something goes wrong, right? It's unspoken expectations. I expect my car to be safe. Now, look, I see us as professionals. It's my job to make sure your car's safe and reliable. That's what I do. I don't just come in and fix one problem. When you bring me your car, I'm making sure it is safe and reliable for you and your family. Yep. That's my job. It's the extent of it. Now, obviously, you in a custom world, that's a little bit different, right? But, you know, for us, that's a big deal because how many cars do you see on the road today that aren't safe? And how many times have we had a conversation with an owner of a vehicle and said, look, I don't think I would fix this. And they go down the street and Bob's Auto fixes it. Oh, no, they fixed it for $200 and you told me you'd sell it. Well, yeah, the frame's broke and the brake lines are rusted out. I told you that because it wasn't worth your money to properly fix it to make it safe. Yeah. But here comes Bob and Bob just says, I'll take your $200. I don't care. Who's the jackass now, right? Right. They look at you like you're the problem. It's not fair, but I mean, I think if we...
There's a balance. There is a balance there. Yeah. You know, and we just had we had a Land Rover come in. Frame, the upper control arm was just ripped off the frame from rust. Right. And the shock system was was filled with issues. The compressor was bad. It would leak air. And the tranny filter or the tranny had a leak, the pass-through gasket and the filter is like a 5-hour job because it's part of the pan and it's super rusty and.
Right.
And it was like, hey, probably not worth it. Here's what it's going to cost to fix all these things. You can choose to just fix the worst one of them.
Right.
But it's going to have a myriad of problems after. Right. Is like that's what we always try to like give everybody the option. That guy chose to, he's risking it, man. Like, all right, weld that thing back on and change the tranny filter and let's roll.
Right.
And it's worked out, but it's tough. It's tough to know, to make that, business ethics, right? Yeah.
Well, so, a while back, I had an experience that solidified what we do in my shop for me. And we've talked about it on the podcast. A local family and a total of 4 cars came from this shop in the span of 2 months. And the first one was, we got our brakes done and it just, something doesn't feel right. Can you just take a look at it? Sure. No problem. Pull it in. They've not said anything about who's worked on the car or anything like that. We pick it up and we realize